Oh, cool. So, how many seconds we got? What are you waiting? Everything about the metaverse is unprofitable and useless. Over the years, I've followed a lot of men, and we all understand you're not going to walk lockstep in any form or fashion with any man, and we're not to hold reverence for anybody but the Lord. But we look for communities, we look for fellowship, and oftentimes we are driven away from it because we don't want to be unequally yoked. And I keep talking about trinities, but everything speaks to me in threes. It's always confirmed. And apologize for my recent community post, but this is the most rapid confirmation. Sometimes it's taken years for me to get three things to happen this bad. And I'm not going to go into all that. I done said my piece on a community post, but yeah, it's a real insult to injury, especially the hours invested in that, the fact that me tagging him put me in a whole different level as far as trolls and everything else, and obvious interference. I've even got weird screens, like, when you open up your computer, I got some weird other screens that quickly open up black and then they drop into the background and I can't find them. I've got two or three screens that are opening up black now, and, just a black page with some, typing at the top, whatever that is, and it's like I think it's just a mirror image. There's several people watching every move I make, and it's almost like, whatever. I can't imagine what you gain from it. Maybe AI can study my voice, right? Well, if you hear somebody singing any crazy stuff, it's probably not me. It's probably AI pretending to be me. I've had it with it all. And I guess the lesson in this is, yeah, don't follow me. Follow Jesus. Stop following all these men and putting your faith in them. And I've seen this time and time again. It doesn't matter what platform. They all got their own peanut gallery. They all got their own, you can call them bootlickers. You can call them grabbing for tailcoats, trying to hitch a ride on somebody else's notoriety, which, I've been accused of many times. No, what I do is an effort of tribute. And I can sustain that by all the tributes that I've done for many different people. I have never gotten any views from it. I'm not riding anybody's coattails. As a matter of fact, doing that stuff hurts me in the algorithm and overall. But it's the truth. It's the truth that I try to set free. It's a truth that does not need defending. It just needs to be turned loose. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'm not sucking up to anybody. And no, I do not help myself when I make videos for John Wells or David Knight or Grindstone Ministries or any of the like. Thomas Sowell, Jordan B. Peterson, Phil Robertson. None of them. They don't they don't get views. Not like some other stuff does. So how am I helping myself? Am I getting subs and views from it? No, actually it sours a lot of people. And I noticed another thing about the algorithm is that you should look sometime incognito or just not signing in and entering through another app and just see, what the algorithm throws up on your channel. And you'd be surprised. Okay, not only historically, and I've been on YouTube for a decade, y'all. Historically, not only is YouTube really bad about, okay, so if whatever your subs are, that's actually 10% of your subs, especially if you're a targeted individual in their algorithm. That's 10% of your subs. Okay, if you have 100 views, typically it's a 10% ratio. You're going to have 10 likes. You don't even get that anymore. Okay, I've seen them mess with likes and views and subs in real time. They're unabashedly doing it in your face. And they can do whatever they want. It's just like your corrupt justice system that's being ran by Merrick Garland as Hillary Clinton sits there and talks about how Trump's going to weaponize everything against people. Yeah, they gaslight everything. Everything that they do, they gaslight off on the other side. But that's okay, because America's fixing to make its choice. And this country will receive its judgment from the Almighty, probably in the form of who's elected. Because, yeah, even God used Pharaoh. But I'll just bite my tongue on that because I know a lot of people feel like it doesn't affect them, and but they're going to want to feel free to complain about it all. Uh, you disenfranchised yourself by not showing up to vote. Just understand that. And you were complicit in letting Marxism take over. Understand that as well. And also understand that I consider you a coward for doing so. And not basically living up to the one. You got very few things that are expected of you as a United States citizen. And one of them is to cast a vote for confidence. And I get it. If anything, the last 4 years to me also has shown a vote of no confidence in church and state, because church closed their doors. For that matter, so did the state, saying we were unessential. But would you rather have the alternatives that they're supplying? Would you rather have this diversity, equity, inclusion thing that's not merit-based, that's ruining the entirety of our culture and civilization? But, nonetheless, overall, this is like my big farewell to YouTube, because it's unprofitable and useless for a chronically ill man to spend as much time as I do making content for as few viewers as I uplift or inform, or for that matter piss off, because half the people that subscribe to me probably hate my guts. Like I said, I started getting death threats in 2020 when I made a tribute to a cop whose end of watch was ironically 3 days before this country was locked down. And it's never been the same since, nor will it ever be the same since. And if you continue to take a knee. And that's all I see. I see what were once proud Americans that were once proud in their nation taking a knee. And so people can call me a quitter. Well, you're just being a quitter, Raybo. And you know what? There's been plenty of opportunity for people to try to, it talks about that. As a matter of fact, Bear even talked about that today, serving others. Like, I serve the Lord and the Lord serves me back. Yeah, it's a handshake thing. When you serve other people, and generally you help them back. I can't say that any of the individuals that I've done anything, of course I don't have that much reach. I'm not helping them when I do anything. Like I said, they think I'm helping myself, and at most I might get 30 views from featuring their content, which I put much more time and effort into than they did. Is something they just rambled off the top of their head, because that's how most people operate these days, and that's cool. Just like the Joe Rogan interview. That's why people want to see Trump. They want to see him go 3 hours unrehearsed, and that's what everybody does, unrehearsed. But what I do is rather work intensive and intentional, and I try to add power to something that I already feel the power in. But I'm tired of people robbing my power, and I can tell you that doing anything to me other than in the flesh these days is unprofitable and useless. So you better try to affect change in the people around you. You better try to bring light to your vicinity. Stop worrying about what's going on the other side of the world. I know we can touch elbows with people all over the world now, but that's great, but we don't know what's going on at the end of the block, and you better start tuning into that, which is going to bring me to another point. Because it kind of set me off with this today. I was like, man, I finally found somebody. Like, Bears, man, he's good people. Well, you showed yourself unapproved when you give wrenches that type of authority. You compliment that you got 20,000 new subs, but he's in there running off his mouth. And then when I kind of make a joke to try to not make him look so bad to all the new people, he's like, yeah, well, having Tourette's that's kind of like normal for chat these days. Are you new to this? That's what I said. And then I got blocked. Are you new to this? Clearly he is new to this. I'm not, but I can tell you I'm sore tired of it. I had 3 viewers for a minute, went back down to 0. I don't much care. Like I said, I'm not done with this foolishness, and that's what it all is. Because that's what all these people do. They just want to talk to him. Hey, I got an idea. Let's talk about it some more. And when we're done talking about it, I got an idea. Let's talk about it some more. And then when we're done with that, let's talk about it some more. So, that's the other thing that's upsetting to me. They all, and I understand that you got to support overhead, but what's my overhead? That swimming pool for the grandkids, that swing set for the grandkids, that's my overhead. That's it. Last 10 years, if I was to pay $15 to $30 a piece for every song that I've done, my 5 channels, and we're talking, yeah, I added them up because there's, right now I think there's 1,200 in my eMasters account, and then there's another 600 or 800 I think from the first couple of years I was on. So I'm pushing over 2,000 songs I've made. What kind of money would I be out? You know, and every time I get to the point where I want to put together a band, or I think I'm gonna like find somebody who's interested in trying to do something, you know, that might actually make some impact in the world, something always comes along. And I've been in and out of many bands in my lifetime. I know how hard it is to get a group of 5 guys to coexist together. But I tell you what, if I had a dream band, I think my bass player would be Mike Huckabee. Maybe I'd get old Tabana, I can't even say his name, Tibor Ranosaurus Rex, the Jack Black of the prepper world. I'd get him to play axe and get old Barry Independent to play drums. He plays keyboard, I don't know. We need rhythm guitars too. Good sound guy. It's just a joke, y'all. Like I said, as you've seen, I just put in one hell of a night. You know, I did a live that night, because even after my usual duties of taking a song that I recorded first thing in the morning and producing it and working up a video, it's 3 in the morning, and I end up going live at 4, and then next thing you know, I'm live at like 9 complaining that Waffle House is full. It was a long day, and it ran into another one, just like they all do. And you better get used to that. I'd suggest you start getting used to 1 meal a day and very little sleep. My point is this: that wrench, the angry badger that made such an impact on me today and aggravated me and was able to get my goat. But hey, that's how Satan is. He'll aggravate you with just a gnat buzzing around your head. You isolate yourself from everything else, he'll find a way to get at you. Well, it's that type that you got to be aware of. Because, you're only as strong as our weakest link. And the people that we vest authority in, when they make piss poor decisions like that, they drive other people away. And, it's just a matter of time before little things like that might cost a life. See, there's some people that you really don't want in the arena or around you when stuff's going down. There's some people that might need to, you understand? I'm talking about with our own homes. Let's just say something's going on. Would you want your wife to go out there and engage a gang of marauders? Or your 83-year-old mother? Or would you expect them to stay in the house? Because more than likely they'd be. Remember that there was a scene in Yellowstone, in the wagon train thing, when they were going out west, and there was that lady, and the rustlers came up, and she threw a rock. I mean, everything probably would have been fine, but she had to exacerbate the situation, bring chaos and confusion, and she threw a rock at the rustlers, and then they shot and killed the whole wagon train. Yeah, you need to control that type of a element inside of your circle. You understand that? You can have a 4-man fire team that you're confident in, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that's in your own household, and that's in your own community, that's in your own governance, that's in your own chat rooms, that's in your own everything. And yeah, it's sad. But yeah, I have to learn. The Lord's just been trying to tell me for a long time to not trust anybody but him, because you can't trust men. They're going to let you down every time. Because we're all flawed. Every one of us. And there are no... I get it. Faith without works is dead, but you're not getting attaboys in heaven. You're going to stand before the Lord and say, oh, hey, man, let me run my highlight reel. Let me show you all that I did. He does not care. But I'll tell you this. I'm going to continue to do as I'm compelled, and anybody that will silence my speech will feel my wrath, if not the wrath of God. So generally these days when things happen to me, I just let God take care of it. Even my own child. And I didn't want to share this, but I'll share it. We got into it some months ago because I was talking about AI and how it uses so much energy and how it's just all so ridiculous. I guess it upset him because I insulted his God, And things got out of hand. And, my boy's got a temper like I do. And next thing you know, of all things, in my own house, he's calling me the devil. And then, getting aggressive too. And I know he didn't mean to actually kill me, but he's like, I'll kill you! In my own house. In my own house. You know how hard it is to let some shit like that go? Do you? That's the ultimate disrespect. Your children that you've literally given your whole life for. I can know a lot of parents, man, what they've done for their kids, staying in unhealthy marriages, unhealthy jobs, and then their kids turn around and when their parents are going to disrespect them, like you should know you're a parent now. You should have a better idea what that walk is like. But they'll figure it out, and they'll figure it out what it's like to be a grandparent too. When you sit around all day and wait for people to stop by. Funny thing is I moved closer to my kids, but I was closer to them when I lived far away. Because now that I'm just across, I'm not far away for either one of them really. I'm central to both of them. I see less of them now than when I was a couple hours away. That says a lot too, doesn't it? Because times have changed, and you want to know what's done that? It's not the love for them or their love for me. It's what society has imposed on me. Again, Ross Perot said it in 1992. The executive branch of the United States is not the Oval Office. It's the family. And you better start at your own household. And they don't want to recognize anybody's authority. But see, that's the funny thing. And I know we all deal with that. Everybody's got their own priorities, don't they? They always have their own priorities. This time of year it's trick-or-treating, and then it's Halloween, and then it's Christmas. And by God, when they're all hungry, they'll be wishing that they prepped more. When their AR's jamming, they'll be wishing they learned how to service a BCG and change out gas rings. It's just, I don't know what to say anymore to people. I really don't. I've never seen, everybody's priorities are pretty skewed all the way around. You can't stave off what's coming. And there's a judgment coming on this land. We brought it upon ourselves. And I believe, just like the good book says, how many 10,000 fall to your left, 10,000 fall to your right? Hold your position. You better hold your position. When the SHTF, when it hits the fan, I would be static. So that the good Lord knew my exact position in all the chaos, so that I might be spared. So, you best make the right decisions. And I love this too, because everybody's talking crap about law enforcement. We don't need that many cops, and what's going on inside of law enforcement, the same thing that's been going on inside the military for the last decade, and that's a war on warriors, and it's a fifth column that's taking over both from the inside. But let me tell you something, you're going to need that thin blue line. You can talk all the shit you want to now. Ain't nobody pestering you about traffic violations. The cops ain't got time for that. And if they do, then they're abusive of their power. There's far more good. There are less cops, again, that disgrace the badge than there are members of the clergy that disgrace their robes. A very small segment. A smaller segment of cops that disgrace the badge than a segment of Jews that disgrace and bring hatred and destruction upon all Jews, for that matter. Let's think about that a minute. But you know what? It's like I told you. These people wondering. It's like, man, you really think that thin blue line is going to put their ass on the line for you? I know they want to weaponize them against us, but they're not completely corrupted yet. But I can tell you they are spread thin. Nonetheless, maybe there'll come to a point in this country that people will see the need for posse comitatus. But I can be assured of one thing. After this election, nothing will be anywhere near resembling normal again. And that fiat dollar isn't very absorbent. And it's powered by pixie dust and unicorn farts, and you can't wipe your ass with it. So I suggest you start making plans for a reality that whether you want to embrace it or not is coming.